Are you ready for the Low Blows Network? Every Wednesday on the Low Blows Network, the Low Blows team are at hand to break down, analyse and make fun of all things pro wrestling. Hosted by former pro wrestler Rick Nash. I think the only reasonable thing we can do now is turn John Cena heel.
Selfie with me fucking Doug.
Banned from Nigeria. I will be talking to the government tomorrow morning. YouTube star Corporate King.
This elephant has 4 legs. Joe Russell's 4 legs. Joseph Stalin, if he had 2 more legs.
Bonesaw rips off his shirt, yeah, and it says, "Chuck your law, big dirty tricolor."
And the Queen of Irish Wrestling, Katey Harvey.
I won't want to decide. Just CM Punk.
So embarrassed. CM Punk.
It's Low Blows. So much for a Christmas break, and apologies guys, by the way, if I sound a little weird today. I'm dying with a chest infection. Sick Nash getting kicked off here for another edition of Low Blows. I apologise in advance for any coughing or whatnot. We thought we were going to have a Christmas break. We went off and we're like, yeah, no, this is it. Wrestling's over for the year. We're going to just chill out with our families and this and that. Turned out to be probably the busiest time of the year for all of us, because it was mental in Irish wrestling this Christmas. And all of us have news. We're going to get started with the top story, because Twitter just started to come alive. There was kind of rumblings throughout the day, like with wrestlers kind of dropping hints that there was something going on. And then eventually the pictures started to emerge. The man, Becky Lynch, dropped home for a visit in Fight Factory. Katey, how did that all come about? What happened? What's the story?
Fairly random. I got an email off a WWE producer.
Whoa!
Yeah. Asking could I come down and film in the gym for like one of these 24/7 documentaries.
Oh, class.
So we said, absolutely. And they're like, do you have a training session on Friday? We don't, but I lied and said we did. And we put together a training session.
Nice. Say everyone came out, did they?
Yeah, so Becky came down. I think we had about 35 people,
nice.
like, because she was going to be there. And it was really cool. Like, Phil and Lee were coaching, and she just walked in and just joined in.
Class.
Just like grabbed Darren, start wrestling around. So Phil and Lee demonstrated a few things, and she learned them, she did them, whatever. And then she's like, "Will I show you a few things?" And we were like, "Yes, please." So then she took the rest of the training session and then did a Q&A, and it was just deadly to get that time with her. And then some of us got to go out to dinner with her afterwards, which was pretty cool. So. Yeah, all filmed for the cameras, so I think they said it's going to be on in a few months.
Unreal.
But they just wanted to capture her coming home, like back to her roots, back to where she trained, the people she trained with. So like it was great to see her interacting with like Phil and Justy and like all the lads she started training with.
Yeah.
And just great as well, because I think we had like 10 girls at the training session. Right. So she went from being the only girl in the country to coming back and seeing all of us training, which is really cool.
Of course, the Irish Junior Heavyweight Champion at the moment is one such girl. Like, she's seeing her legacy. And I saw they got to have a bit of a moment, did they?
Yeah, hopefully it makes the documentary.
Right.
Valkyrie got a little bit overwhelmed.
Really?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Aww.
It's very cute. It's very cute. Yeah, so Justy pointed out in front of the cameras, in front of Becky, that we had a female junior heavyweight champion, and Becky just thought this is deadly.
Yeah.
So like she took her aside at the end of the training session for like a little like one-on-one chat.
Amazing.
It was really cool of her.
That's amazing. And like it's obviously busy time. Obviously, you know what, you like don't tell any stories out of home, but like she must be buzzing now. She's the biggest star in wrestling, coming home, like she must be flying high. She must have been in great form.
But you know what, like she's so salt of the earth.
Yeah.
She's just like, you'll bring up something and she'll just like laugh it off real modestly, like, oh no, you know, yeah, it was deadly, and she'll change the subject. She's not real big-headed. Right. Justy, of course, had to bring up about, do you remember the TLC match where, was it TLC, where she did the leg drop off the top of the ladder and just sat on Charlotte. And Justy was like, why did you do that? And she was basically like, didn't want Charlotte to have children. No, but like, she's very funny about it, and she's just very modest about everything she was saying.
Right, amazing. That's unbelievable. And great timing. Like, you couldn't have planned it better, because over the Christmas as well, it was announced that Fight Factory, we're coming back.
We're back.
People have been asking for ages. Starting this weekend, people have been asking when Fight Factory are back, and starting this weekend, this Sunday, people can check out Fight Factory shows again.
We have Fans Do the Wrestles, which is a group of fans, as the name suggests, coming down to do a wrestle. So this is Justy's brainchild. It's going to be a really cool thing. So they're going to do like a 3-hour training session, a crash course on all the basics.
Steady.
And then we've got a gym show afterwards. So just a chance for some of the newer guys to get some face time in front of a crowd. And then hopefully after doing a bit of wrestling, the guys will just pop seeing a show straight away and be like, oh yeah, we just did that, or we tried this. So hopefully it'll be a really nice day.
Cool. And then obviously the big news that a lot of people were waiting for was the episode shows are back. Things are being worked. Like last time, like when we left Low Blows, Katie Harvey was trying to save Irish professional wrestling in the venue crisis. So obviously that went well.
You know how we fixed it? Not me and the Lord Mayor. We said Darren Kearney's man on the Big Sean. And now we have it for the rest of the year. So
amazing.
Yeah.
Excellent. So there you go. February 15th, am I right in saying?
15th,
So keep an eye on social media. And of course, Low Blows will be promoting that as well. Keep an eye on my social media. Corporate Keen, you've had the most random news of the Christmas in Irish wrestling. Because, well, like, yeah, we've announced it. It's Low Blows Ruin Wrestling. Some mad lads in Courage Wrestling have decided to give myself and yourself, but mainly you and your crazy ideas, booking control of their show. That's going to be an over-18s Dublin City professional wrestling show, a big show with some of the stars of WXW, and you get to book the show. Like, what's going on? Let's tell this story from the start, because like people might just see this as completely random, but Low Blows, the idea that eventually became Low Blows Ruin Wrestling, has been kind of simmering since. I remember first talking to you about it in like May at Contenders after Scrappermania. So kind of go through, obviously everyone doesn't know this because it's been very behind the scenes, hush hush, but we can talk about it now.
Right, so it started in summer. I just turned around, and I don't even know why I mentioned it. It was just like, because this wasn't like something I plan on doing soon. It was just something like a YouTube goal I was going to do years from now. If YouTube ever started paying me, whatever, I'd be like, I'd do like a backyard show that's just, funny and just mad shit, you know what I mean? Because it would be funny.
Yeah.
And in hindsight, that was a terrible idea. And I was like, man, yeah, no, that's probably not a good idea. But then when I told you, you were like, right, let's make a Low Blows thing. And I was like, oh shit. Oh shit.
No, I think my initial response was, I will bankroll this.
Yeah.
I love every bit of this idea. I will bankroll it. So we started to look into things, and
obviously, like, we made changes and stuff. Like, it wouldn't be like an outdoor venue in my back garden with people smashing light tubes over each other's, heads and stuff. Like, there was little adjustments made, but the overall premise was still the same, and we were going to do it in like October, November, or something like that. And then a new promotion popped up. Another promotion popped up. Another promotion came back and replaced other promotions. Other promotions came out with those promotions, and it was like exhibit and Pimp My Ride. Do you know what I mean? We know you like promotions, so we put a promotion in your promotion. And long story short, the market was full, and we were like, right, the dream's kind of dead. It's not going to happen because there's too much going on. Like, there's no way anybody would go to it. But then one of the promotions, Courage. I don't even know. I don't know how we end up in this position.
Yeah, so I can tag in here. So basically, like, we'd both done work with Courage beforehand.
Yes.
And, like, kind of, I'll be honest, and I was honest with the lads, and and a lot of people who went to the shows and gave them a try will say that, I thought the shows were fine. They were grand. Ultimately, the story behind Courage is it's two wrestling fans who heard on the Spandex Pantomime Justy talking about how it's a great time for promoters from outside, like, who've done well elsewhere to get into wrestling. They're like, oh shit, we can do that. So that's generally how this started. There's kind of a Low Blows kind of circle to all of it. They got involved, and kind of the start, like, they've done 3 shows in the right venue, and like the shows have been fine, but at the same time the lads are aware that they're kind of outsiders kind of trying their best. And for me, I look at it from that perspective, and I'm like, well done, lads. There's been no fires. It's been well organised. It's been well
No
run.
one's died yet.
No one
has died.
And
There's a lot to be said for that.
they've been reasonably entertaining. But like, if I was being perfectly honest, I'd be like, right, there's no kind of real unique selling point here. There's no kind of like, what you're looking at it and you're like, why is this happening? What hole does this fill? When you've got so many promotions in Ireland, you've got OTT leading the way at the top, and you've got like them just setting the benchmark for everyone else. You've got the likes of Fight Factory and MSW if you want some Irish, like see the next generation. You've got your regional promotions in Phoenix, PWU, NLW. So you don't really have, like, Courage is like, why is this happening? What's going on? What's Courage? What's courageous about this? I don't understand it. I don't really know. There's no hook, if that makes sense. So I was like, lads, the one thing you're missing is a personality. And we got talking over Christmas when they started to move to the Button Factory. And I'm like, look, me and Cian had this idea. We can do it if you want, and we've got it planned out for months because we just got chatting and we have a million different ideas. So the idea, I think, is more like, we say we're going to ruin wrestling, but like, it's going to be a good show. We just announced Club Rock Shandy against Matt Schuyler and Lucky Kid, which for me is a fucking awesome match. I cannot wait for that. The lads are going to absolutely kill it. We've got a great roster. And we've got like surprises already kind of planned in the background as well. We've got a few people that you'll be familiar with and whatnot. So we've got a lot in mind. But the idea is what is not currently being done in Irish wrestling. And if you look at the likes of, say, Joey Janela's Spring Break, if you look at shows that are like All In, kind of the more crazy excesses of that, something mental, like the mind of Corporate Keane. You've seen his booking videos, you've heard him on Ask Low Blows. What would it be like if we saw the wrestling world through Corporate Keane's eyes? So what we're doing basically is we're letting Corporate Keane run wild. I've been around Irish wrestling since 2004, so I know how to like run a show and manage a promotion and do all the boring bits in the background. I'm there to make sure it's a coherent and good show at the same time, and it's not just absolutely apeshit. But we are letting Keane run wild, so we're going to have new matches. We're going to have like just wrestlers that you've never seen them before. We're going to take risks. We're going to do stuff that like may or may not work. I'll straight up say it here. Like, we're not going out to generally ruin wrestling. And another thing as well is, we're not, by the way, I want to get this clear up front. We're not trying to compete or take from anyone else or anything like that. We just want a small niche, like, kind of show where we can get creative and have fun, that doesn't kind of tread on anyone's toes, that lets talent get experience and lets them get reps and lets them get like bookings and opportunities and chances to try something. We're going to be very, even if you know me from Low Blows, I'm very like, I let people do their own thing and do stuff they're happy with. So that's what we want to do. We want to like have talent come to us and give them their crazy ideas. I've been talking to people and they're like, I have like a good idea and I have a crazy idea, and I'm like, tell me the crazy idea. That's what we want here. So we're going to let them get creative and let them experiment. That's what it's going to be, but it's going to be a good show. So what else would you like to add for Low Blows Ruin Wrestling?
Yeah, I mean, like, again, I don't want to show... I said this in the video. Like, everything I said, I pretty much already said in the video, but I don't want to, like, shove the cliches down people's throats, because there's already great promotions that are already there. So I don't want to be like, oh, this is going to be the greatest, this is going to be the best, the biggest, whatever. But it'll be different. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
The whole, like, that's the key word. Yeah. Different. That could go either way. Again, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to be... It's just going to be interesting, and it's going to be fun. For me, that's the key. I just want to enjoy this. Do you know what I mean?
What we want to create is like a can't-miss show where it's going to be like, what's going to happen? We want to have you get that excitement of, I don't know what's going to come next, I don't understand it, but we want you to feel safe as well when you're there. Like, this is actually a good show and there's a lot of plan. Like, we've our card written like 6 weeks out. We've fucking locked in and stuff like that pretty much now. We're still tinkering and stuff like that, but we're well organised and know the way the show is going to be already. And it's February 23rd in the Button Factory. So we have it well planned. It is going to be a well organised show and a good show. There's going to be a lot of good production as well. Like, the Button Factory is a very good venue.
GG
Media as well. Like, we have them on. Corporate Keane is going to be on commentary replacing me. But yeah, no. So it is going to be a good show. Just watch this space and give it a chance. And also, what I'll say is, I said this on Twitter, but I want to reiterate now. We've spoken a lot about the venue crisis in Ireland the past year or so, basically, it's been going on. The Big Sean obviously thankfully got resolved. OTT's difficulty with the Tivoli has been well documented and stuff like that. What we have here, and this could genuinely be a one and done type event, but we want it to be more. What we have here is we have a good Dublin City venue that wants to put on over 18s wrestling. But here's the thing, the Button Factory are booked up like non-stop. They do not need wrestling. They're doing this as a favour to the lads because the lads know them. This is a one-time deal and it's a trial, and we need to get certain results. It's almost like the opposite of the Big Sean. We need to like get a good crowd in. But yeah, we need to get certain results. So if you want over 18s wrestling in Dublin City to continue, this is kind of your option at this stage, because it's we're the only people who currently have a venue. Now, it'd be great if, say, OTT sorted stuff and all that kind of thing as well. Like, we hope that they do. But this is the situation we're in. So give it a chance. Give it a try. Come down. I guarantee you'll be entertained. I guarantee, you'll have stuff to tweet about. Even if it's you absolutely go mental about the show on Twitter and just what the fuck is this? You're going to enjoy it. It's going to be an experience. So check it out. February 23rd, the Button Factory, Low Blows, Ruin Wrestling. Once and for all. We're going to kill it. A lot of anxiety about what's the future of wrestling. People are like, is it all going to go away? Yes, because Low Blows are going to kill it. Anyway, guys, sorry, I'm getting sicker. Guys, we have a packed show. We're going to talk about Wrestle Kingdom. We're going to talk about some controversies. Twitter is back after taking a week off. Twitter is going absolutely apeshit. We're going to be talking about all that. We're going to be talking about the good and the bad of the week, previewing NXT UK this weekend, and we'll have the return of Queen versus Keen. So there's all that and more still to come. Anyway, guys, but first we're going to get on, because we announced on the last show of last year to corporate Keen's delight, we killed fake news off. That's it. It's over. It got cancelled. But what we did was we were very happy with how Harvey's hot take was going. So we've decided to just do a hot take segment where all of us pick something from the week in a Katey Harvey style, and we have our own little hot takes on it now. So ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get started with the first ever hot takes. I'm going to get kicked off with my hot take, and I want to talk about Toni Storm. Of course, a lot of you will have seen that while we're off for Christmas, Toni Storm became the latest female wrestler to fall victim to having nudes leaked online after her phone was hacked. And a lot of I'm going to call it as it is. A lot of men have come out, like they always do, at this stage, and they're like, well, what she needs to do is, if you don't want this to happen, then you need to not take the pictures, because obviously if there's one group of people who should advise young women on how to conduct themselves, it's male wrestling fans. They are the experts, they know it all, they've got it sorted, but also as well, it got me interested, and it got me thinking about other kind of examples like this. It's do we have this attitude with everything else? And I thought back to, if, say, the PS Store gets hacked, people are like, well, you shouldn't play video games. They don't respond that way, even though video games are just as much of a hobby, or just as excessive and unnecessary for your life as taking nudes. They're both are recreational activities that you don't need to do, but you're entitled to do it. People say, oh, they should have protected our data. They should have protected our data. But if a woman does it, it's she should have kept her clothes on and not been stupid. So, lads, I'm just saying this out because my co-host is probably too nice to say it. Women wrestlers are not looking for your advice on how they should live their lives. I'm just saying, they're not asking. I know you've got really great opinions and you're happy with them and you're like, I'll tell them how to live. Nobody's asking. Nobody gives a shit. That's my hot take for today.
And also, they should just be aware that if you're one of the creeps who has said online or shared Toni's pictures or any female wrestlers' pictures or videos, we have group chats and screenshots, and we block the shit out of you.
Nice.
And stay away from you and probably laugh at you.
Did you see Defiant, by the way, Defiant Wrestling? You didn't see this? All right. So I'm pretty sure it was one of the lads that was saying again, the anti-Toni Storm stuff, whatever. And he was saying oh, it's not sexual assault. Sexual assault's physical and all.
Yes, I did see that.
And they were like, all right, well, we cancelled your ticket and your friends, so don't bother showing up. If you're faced at the door, we don't want you here. And you can tell your friend why his ticket's cancelled. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, North Wrestling did it as well. And basically, this lad is just going around on Twitter being barred from wrestling companies. It's excellent.
Brilliant. On a similar note, another female wrestler got caught up in the news this week.
Yeah, so the Priscilla Kelly controversy? Okay, so the spot was, for anyone who doesn't know, she was wrestling a woman called Tuna. I don't know who she is, but I guess her name says everything. She had a little route around down her trunks. Sorry, we have a guest in Lobo's HQ, so I don't want to say this next
Go
part.
over it.
So she had a little rummage and she fished out what appeared to be a used tampon. She then put it in Tuna's mouth and held her mouth shut. So that was the spot. Now, I saw the video on Twitter, I watched it, I was disgusted. I immediately shared it in the group chat with the girls, like, what the fuck? We work so hard for women's wrestling and then she does shit like this. And yeah, I was furious.
Okay.
For about a day and a half, I was furious. I was like, oh, we work so hard to try to get respect, you know, we're trying to make steps forward. You've Becky and Charlotte like headlining pay-per-views, you've other people doing this and that, and she's shown us all up by doing this. And then I had this rant to Phil, who just turned around and went, you're reacting exactly the way she wanted you to. I was like, oh shit, yeah. I got worked by a spot again. And then I sat and had to think about it, and you know what? Who cares if she did it? Like, it got the reaction it was supposed to. Like, her name has been on everyone's lips. She's probably going to get more work out of this, for better or for worse. She might have ruined her chances with some companies, but now other companies are going to jump on her. But the best thing I think that's come out of this is, and I don't know if you've seen this, she's released a t-shirt and it says, I bleed for Priscilla Kelly, which is deadly, like, yeah, capitalised cash in, but she's donating the proceeds to charity.
Right.
I don't know how yous are up on like sanitary politics, but basically sanitary products for women are considered luxury items by most governments and are taxed accordingly. So even though they're necessities, they're taxed the same as chocolate. They're taxed the same as like other luxury items being imported into countries. And a lot of women campaign to get this tax removed. A lot of countries, girls can't access these products full stop. Right. So she is donating all this to a charity that provides sanitary items to underprivileged women.
Whoa.
So I think that is a deadly twist on the story.
Okay, that actually turned out cool. What do you think of the Jim Ross and the likes of Road Dogg are coming out? Jim Ross, of course, the first member of the Vince McMahon Kiss My Ass Club. Road Dogg, of course, who used to simulate doggy-style sex on his opponents before doing his finisher. I've come out and called this girl disgusting and said she should be ashamed of herself and basically shamed her on Twitter. What are your thoughts on the likes of that? Without making it too personal, what are your thoughts on male wrestlers in general or wrestling personalities, old school figures?
Like, I'm surprised that the ones who lived through the Attitude Era coming back and saying now that this has crossed the line. I think if a man had done it, it wouldn't be an issue.
Yes.
It is a gender line here. If a man had done it, think of all the shit that went down in the Attitude Era that is now laughed about now. Like, that could have happened 10 years ago in WWE and no one would have batted an eyelid depending on who was doing it. So I just think they're really out of touch. But we know that anyway. Like, I told you before, Jim Ross told me I was fat and said all the girls look the same. So he's not really the spokesperson for this.
This is fair. And look, it is done by men. Joey Ryan. There's the exact same spot. Exact same. No, doesn't get called out. Doesn't get called out.
Like a blow pop he's rubbed on his gooch and then puts it into people's mouths. Like.
This is it. Exactly. Anyway, last hot take. Kid, take it away. The one everyone's talking about, AEW.
So All Elite Wrestling, I don't think I really need to elaborate on All Elite Wrestling. You know the story at this stage. It's being set up by Cody, the Young Bucks, all the Elite lads. And there's all this talk. Will it succeed? Will it fail? I've seen people say Ted Turner has, put all his money into this, his whole life savings, and as we speak, Vince McMahon has just given up WWE to Triple H to try and compete, and they're not competing, and All Elite Wrestling have taken over and whatever else. Then there's the other end who say, well, I haven't seen a single show from them yet, so they probably already failed and they're out of business and everyone's dead and everything like that. But in the midst of all this arguing and bitching I saw on Facebook, I'm going to steal this hot take because I love it so much. One person who just said, and he was dead serious as well, he was like, you know what, I think everyone's forgetting the bigger picture. If Fulham get relegated, All Elite Wrestling's fucked. Because, for those of you who don't know, what is Shahid Khan, is that his name?
James Khan is running this, but Shahid Khan is the owner of, he
is the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, but he also owns Fulham in the Premier League. And
that's a good point.
That's quite a leap.
And I mean, he owns a couple of different things. You know what I mean? He's one of these rich billionaire type people. And just so
it's richer than Vince McMahon, by the way. You should throw that in.
Oh
there. Richer than Vince McMahon.
So long story short, the future of professional wrestling lands solely at the feet of Cyrus Christie. So, for me, is it going to succeed? Is it going to fail? I don't know, but I hope Fulham survive relegation. I think they will survive relegation. I think Fulham and Burnley are going to stay up, and that's just what I think. That's what I hope. That's my hot take, that Irish wrestling lands at the let me try again. Not Irish wrestling. The future of world wrestling lands at the feet of Dimitri Krakovich's cousin, Alexander Mitrovic. So honestly, I'm looking forward to this.
Okay, interesting. What are your thoughts on All Elite Wrestling? Are you excited?
I am. I watched the press conference last night.
How was it? I didn't.
I marked out to fuck when Jericho came out.
Nice.
Like, that was just unexpected. That's a genuinely big get, like. And his promo, and he's just like, I am all in on Elite Wrestling. And I seen someone tweet, like, because I was reading the comments as I was watching it live, and someone just tweeted, like, legit just check his WWE.com profile is gone. Like, it was gone within like 60 seconds of this.
He's out with a signature as well. Like,
oh, really?
He was in the WWF Then Now Forever signature, and he's gone.
Because didn't he promise Vince he'd never work a US indie?
Yeah.
He just wanted to do it in New Japan.
Yeah.
It's a ballsy move. Everyone's very ballsy, but I think it's good. And like, there was some controversy because they said they were going to pay everyone equally, and some people took that to mean like Jericho would be getting the same pay as like Britt Baker. But now it's come out today that it's like whatever tier you're on, you'll get paid equally. So the women are going to get paid equal to the men on their tier.
Yeah, that's cool.
Which is cool. Still confusing. I'm still not really sure they promised.
It's more just a promise. Like, it's equality, hey, and then it's like, but
who have they announced though for the women? Do you know what I mean?
Britt Baker.
Has Jordan Grace as well been announced?
No, it's just Britt Baker and
Brandy.
Who did Jordan Grace come out and say? She was tweeting about like she gets to be looked after by a company. Impact. Oh right.
I heard rumours that Tessa Blanchard might sign and someone else. But yeah, Britt Baker's the only one. Who did they announce?
You could probably bump Britt Baker up a tier or two if she's the only one. Like, put her tier 2. Like, fuck it.
They announced the Young Bucks, Cody, obviously.
Joey
Janela. Penelope Ford there is. So
Pac.
Yeah, Pac in his gear.
Yeah.
Hero.
It's an interesting one. And then, like, a lot of people are talking. Did you see this on Twitter today? A lot of people are like, Walter versus Pac is possibly the only WWE contracted versus AEW contracted match that'll happen because this shit's going to get cut down on now. Yeah, it's interesting. So I assume that it's probably still going to go ahead. WWE tend not to fuck over OTT, like, and that'd be really fucking them over. So I assume that everything's going to be all good there. But yeah, no, it's exciting. I'll give it a go. First show 25th of May, I think it is. Saturday night, maybe. We'll,
oh shit, yeah. Oh man,
for that. Might get a little cease and desist, but sure, that's tradition for these nights with the Elite. Anyway, guys, those were our hot takes for the week. Guys, what did we miss out on? Tweet us in at #LowBlows. Anyway, look, we're going to talk about the in-ring now, and it's time to talk about the good and the bad from the week, starting with the worst, because it's time for...
Say something stupid.
Worst of the week. In at number 5, it's one from Impact.
So I watched Homecoming last night, which was their pay-per-view. It was on Sunday, I think. And the second match of the night was a tag team match. It was Ali and Sooyoung. They're kind of a heel zombie type tag team. And they were against Kiera Hogan and Jordan Grace, yeah? Great match. In the end, Ali and Sooyoung won. And they beat Kiera Hogan, and they tried to kill her. So they basically did this, like, it's like a mandible claw, but like more dangerous. And then they got Sooyoung's undead brides, which is like her army. They kind of look like her. They don't really talk or anything like that. They're like Undertaker's druids, basically. Right. They brought out the coffin, to like put Kiera Hogan in, because that's the thing they do. They still, like, I mean, it's mad being look back on it, because they did it to like Madison Rayne as well, and she's died. So it's like, this is a legit thing. We haven't seen her since. They brought out the coffin, and as soon as they wheeled out, they opened it to put Kiera Hogan in it, and out comes Rosemary, Rosemary, she returns. It's been months since she's been like an Impact ring, whatever. She came back. She runs down, and like her and Ali used to be friends. So she goes over to like tap Ali on the head, and Ali sort of like growled and ran off. It was actually deadly. I'm so happy to have Rosemary back. But the reason to say something stupid, is that these have to be the worst undead brides I've ever seen in my entire life. Right? Okay. They had one job. There's 6 of them. I counted, right? 6. And not one of them decided to keep an eye on the coffin to make sure that nobody crawled in. That was their only job. They're being paid. They're not being paid to wrestle. They're not being paid to talk. Just look after the coffin. Make sure it's like looking after the corner flag. Just make sure nobody fucking touches it. Nobody crawls into it. Nobody does anything along those lines. and they failed. And Rosemary popped about with the coffin and made an absolute show of everyone. So, good job. But, no, it was bad.
I wonder what tier the undead brides are on for pay.
Oh,
that's a weird negotiation, like, you know what I mean?
I hope it's the same tier as the fans.
What currency is hell, like? In at number 5, let's talk about NXT.
Yeah, there's not much to talk about. I turned on NXT. It was a lot of recaps from like the last few weeks, so I turned it off again. There's really nothing to talk about. I don't really understand why they haven't had anything fresh, because they pre-record everything.
Yeah.
So like, why not hold back a few matches and so we've something fresh to watch?
Yeah.
It's like end of the first week in January. Like, I want new wrestling.
And there's a takeover in a couple of weeks, like.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I mean?
That's, what is it, 2 weeks?
2.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought they would have kept a match or two back. You know, like when they record Takeover and they do the pre-shows and they keep it. Yes, well, I didn't watch it, sorry.
I hate people who do recap shows over Christmas. Like, it's the most disgraceful thing. But guys,
who would do such a thing?
while we have you, if you haven't already, check out the Best of Low Blows 2018, the Best of Ask Low Blows 2018, and the Best of Spandex Pantomime 2018 all available on patreon.com.
I don't think this was even a Best of 2018. This was, here's what happened in the last 2 weeks. That's all it was like.
Some intern got his Christmas holidays early and they're like, go on, it's only on the network, fuck it, they're buying anyway. In at number 4, let's talk about MLW. What have we missed?
Right, Major League Wrestling, yeah? So I was watching it 2 weeks ago.
Still binging.
Oh, well no, I caught up, and I thought once I caught up I was like, alright, I'll probably lose interest. That tends to happen, I'll binge watch and then I'll kind of forget once I've caught up.
The mission is complete.
Yeah, but I haven't. It's still on YouTube, so I'm being reminded, and it's really good. It's really interesting. I love the Heart Foundation, all that sort of stuff. But they had a main event 2 weeks ago, yeah?
Yeah.
Low Key versus Conan. And I actually loved it. I thought it was deadly. Again, I'm weirdly positive for saying something stupid. I put everything I love in it. But I'm putting it here because after the match, I don't even think Low Key pinned Conan. Obviously Conan didn't win. I think it was, or he might have won actually by DQ. Sorry. But my point is, no contest type thing. Like, Ricky Martinez interfered, cost Conan. It was very bloody, it was very gruesome kind of match. It was very, like, hard hitting and stuff.
Right up your alley.
Yeah, I loved it. And, but after the match, they attacked Conan. They grabbed Conan. They being, I'm too tired to remember their name, but, Low Key's gang. Right. And, they picked him up, they held him, and then, oh my god, what's their name? Please, what's her name?
I'm only thinking about the filthy animals because he keeps saying Conan. So.
Selena De La Renta, that's her name, right? I'm so tired.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, she's the leader. It's her faction actually, but she gave Low Key a spike, yeah, a shank, and it was like, okay, well, I mean, I don't really know what you want him to do with this. It's a wrestling show, you know what I mean? But okay, and he gets a shank, and he stabs Conan in the back, like as in like stabs him.
You stabbed him?
Yes. As in, there's blood coming out of him, pouring onto his hand. And I'm like, Jesus. Right, because normally at a wrestling show, it's like, someone will threaten to do that. They'll threaten to chop someone's head off or stab them, but then, like, there'll be a run-in for the save. There was no run-in for the save. He got stabbed. But my favourite part about this, right, I would put it in This Is Awesome, but I feel like Say Something Stupid's a better fit. It's just, like, the commentator's reaction. It was so, like, right, so, Tony Schiavone, and I can't remember, it might have been Rich Brennan, they're both sitting there and just like, he got shanked. It's like,
that's not how you react.
It's like, your fellow employee is getting stabbed to death in front of you. And your reaction is, he's getting shanked. It's like, could you imagine if somebody came in and just stabbed one of you right now? And I'm like, Rick's getting shanked. It's like, no, maybe. Someone should call the police. Maybe someone should try and stop this. In the end, Filthy Tom Lawler came in after Conan had been stabbed, which was like, thanks for your help, kind of. And, yeah, I mean, he's alright. He's in hospital. He's recovering.
Good.
But it was mad. And I just want to say, I fucking love it. I love that sort of shit. Again, I know it's to say something stupid, but it's funny. Like, I love when mad shit like that happens. Maybe somebody's going to get shanked in Courage. You don't know.
In that safe environment you were just talking about.
I said maybe,
this
lads.
This is why I'm here.
Yeah, exactly. And this is why I can't do these shows on my own.
In at number 3, let's talk about SmackDown. Do you remember way back when Rusev first came out, and it was like Rusev is the biggest babyface ever. He just comes out and like loves his country, fights for his country's honor, fights for his woman's honor, but everyone booed him because he was Russian or Bulgarian or whatever WWE wanted him to be any particular week. But then you looked at his storylines and you're like, he's the babyface here. He's the one avenging like the disrespected partner that he had. You know what I mean? It's weird now because he is a babyface and he's a very good babyface. He did a promo this week talking to Shinsuke Nakamura because Rusev beat Nakamura for the US title over Christmas. And he did a promo where he's like, he was very charismatic. He's like, this isn't the normal Rusev who has the body of 1,000 Hemsworth brothers. He's class. Like, he just is charismatic, and I'm like, they're letting him go face. But now he's got the opposite problem, where he's the babyface who's wrong. Because they replayed a clip from last week. There was the controversy of this feud. Basically, Rusev was in the ring doing a promo. Nakamura attacked. Lana jumped on Nakamura's back. Rusev kicked Nakamura and he fell on Lana. Nakamura then is in the truck and interrupts the promo this week, and he's like, it was your fault. You kicked me with your wife on my back. Like, what could I do? Like, this is your fault. Like, Nakamura's right. Rusev attacked. Like, what else did you think was going to happen? Also, as well, it's a bit mad because Lana was in, like, Money in the Bank ladder matches and stuff. It's established that she's a wrestler. She essentially took a bump, and it's now like, oh my God, will we ever see Lana again? What is this? Like, but yeah, Nakamura was right. Rusev is wrong, and I want justice for Rusev. Let him be intelligent because he's good crack. Anyway, in a number 2, let's talk about the bad from NXT UK.
It makes me sad to talk about the bad from NXT UK, but there is a little bit of bad.
But I'm gonna.
I've talked before about how I feel a little bit of a disconnect, and I don't know whether it's because like I've seen the guys on the indies have like these whopper matches, whopper storylines, and then it feels a bit shoehorned to me onto these like hour-long shows on the network. And I love WWE, so I hate to say like WWE-ized, you know?
Yeah.
But that's kind of what it feels like. And the main thing for me is like this Mastiff Eddie Dennis feud.
Right.
I don't know if you're keeping up, but basically these lads are going to have a no DQ match on TakeOver. And I'm just kind of like, why? Why are they having a no DQ match? For me, like, no DQ and stuff is like big feud enders, like, you know, lots of bad blood, like vicious stuff. Yeah, they've had a bit of a feud. Eddie Dennis is a bit annoyed he can't pin him. Not really like a big feud ending thing for me, and I just think like it's too early for a stipulation like that.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of bothering me that that's where they're going. I just feel like they're trying to force these epic storylines where they haven't like built the foundations yet.
Yeah.
Eddie Dennis, great wrestler, lovely guy. I don't really buy into him as a massively top heel. Okay. So I'm just struggling a little bit about him being the heel against Dave Mastiff, who is massive. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
It's something's not clicking with that feud for me.
Yeah.
And I think because I just love British wrestling and I love how quirky some of the venues are and the companies are, to go from seeing like, say, Fight Club Pro and like their warehouses and like ICW with their rabid fan bases, to seeing the same wrestlers in like these like lovely theatres and like polite audiences. Yeah. It still just hasn't clicked 100% with me, so That's why I thought I'd say something stupid.
I do get that. Like, I haven't kept up that much with NXT UK, but I watch it where I can. And, like, yeah, it has that sanitized feel where it's like, do you know all those cool wrestlers you like, but it doesn't have kind of the, you know, you look at Progress, and I love Progress. And I know a lot of people are down on it, but what I love about what Progress have done is they've created their brand. It's really strong. You know you're at a Progress show. Jim Smallman comes out at the start. You know to expect that. You know, it's got a personality. It's like we were saying about Courage earlier, what we're trying to do. It's got that. But, like, WWE is, like, giving us Progress-style matches without actually having that vibe yet, where fans don't know, can we like come up with funny creative chants, like can we curse, what is it like, and they don't know and they're confused, so it's just like, oh, we'll just come support the lads. But having said that, TakeOver is kind of, there's a big difference between NXT Weekly TV. You watch every week. There's a big difference between NXT Weekly TV and TakeOvers. And TakeOvers is where it's all defined. So they have an opportunity this weekend. So I look forward to that and I'll give them a shot. But I completely hear what you're saying so far. I think now that it's going to be live, they have an opportunity where people are going to be like, the crowd even are going to be like, right, we're on the network now. We're not on it in 6 weeks. You know, let's fucking go mental and let's do ourselves proud. Hopefully they get that. And it's well worth it. We're going to go through the NXT.
The issue as well is the double episodes.
Yeah.
It's just too much.
Yeah.
It's too much of that same kind of show at once when you've already watched 6 hours of wrestling a week.
Yeah.
cut it back down to one show.
Yeah.
And then it'll be much more palatable.
Yeah, less is more, definitely, with a lot, especially with WWE, there's so much. In at number one from Raw, have any of you seen this? Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman are advertised as having a face-to-face promo. And what I saw online about this being criticised was it was like, nobody would act the way they did. It was just weird, blah, blah, blah. Actually, I want to say the opposite. It's tough to say something stupid, and it was awful. And keep in mind that this is like, it's both an easy match to sell and it's a tough match to sell. This is the third pay-per-view these two are having a one-on-one matches. So far, Brock Lesnar 2-0. You need to heat up Braun Strowman as a threat to him, like, and especially when you have you have Brock Lesnar on Raw and you have Strowman right there, you need to convince me that Strowman can actually beat him, because I've been here before and I've just been left flat. Like, it's like Lesnar has the better of Strowman. They need to do something. What they did this week was, again, like I was saying, for me, it's like, if this promo happened in real life, how would it be? So, Braun's in the ring and coming out and kind of WWE scripted promo where he's like, Brock Lesnar, I want to see you out here now. And then Brock's in the back and Paul Heyman does a promo and he's like, you know, card subject to change. We've seen this stuff with Brock a million times. Card subject to change. Brock Lesnar doesn't feel like coming out because Brock Lesnar wants an opponent for the Royal Rumble. He doesn't want to destroy beforehand because then he doesn't get paid. So no, you won't be seeing Brock Lesnar tonight. Then Braun Strowman doesn't like run to the back the way we've seen Braun. Like, what we're used to with Braun is he'll just sprint after you and he'll fucking throw your car over or something like that. Braun stands in the ring and he's like, well, you're just a coward. And then Brock, that's enough to get Brock to come out. Brock comes out, and then it's like, again, it's like if this promo happened in real life, where it's two big badasses that are kind of scared of each other. That are like, oh, he's pretty tough, like, I don't know if I want to fight him, like, especially with all these people around. Brock just circled the ring once, and Braun didn't chase him. Braun just stood there and looked at him circling the ring, and then Brock just walked up the ramp, and that was the end of the segment. That's what they did to sell me on Brock against Braun. I'm like, what did you achieve there? What was gained? What did you prove? It's like, Brock's a coward? No, he's not. He circled the ring, whatever that proves. Braun, like, why doesn't Braun go out and chase him? Why is nothing happening? It was just weird. And it's just like, 3 hour Raws. And I appreciate that they have kind of done a reset with WWE. And they are, like, putting in more effort with their Raw and SmackDown TV. And we're going to give them credit in a second. But some of this stuff with the 3 hour stuff just comes up, just feels like, yeah, we'll finish that later. We'll finish that later. And they just never finish this. So the lads are out and the script hasn't been done, but they only realise it when they're going out. And Brock's like, I haven't been told to fight him. So I'm just going to walk around and hope that he knows what to do. And then he just left and it's just like, why did I watch that? Why did any of this happen? It was ridiculous. It was bad. And it's definitely easily number one. I'd say something stupid. Guys, let's get positive though. Let's get optimistic. Let's talk about the good from the week, because it's time for the best from the week. In at number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Very professional. Let's talk about one from our old friend Session Matt.
I didn't
well,
know.
not Katey. Katey hates her.
Oh, yeah.
No, we're friends now.
No,
we're back on the same side.
It's not real,
no, when the
though.
mics are off.
It's
You want to hear when the mics are off.
honestly,
different
I'm
story.
so, like, if that ever gets released, like...
We have it here. We're just going to keep it there. It's recorded, guys.
But yeah, so I forgot to put this in almost, but from Bar Wrestling, New Year's, probably something that made me laugh harder than anything else that night was fucking the video on Twitter of Session Martina twerking on some lad in the crowd. And that you know, happens at every show,
Yeah.
so it's not a major thing, except this lad had a girlfriend with him, and again, that happens all the time. It's not a big deal. Except, this girlfriend, was she a wrestling fan? She didn't look like a wrestling fan to me. But there's people saying that she was. But for me, there's no way, because she reacted to this as if Session Mutt came over and literally had sex with him on the floor right in front of her. Like her reaction was just pure anger, hatred, venom. Like, look into those eyes when you see it next time, right? There is no, like, ha-has in there. It's just pure anger. And it was the funniest shit I had seen. Like, oh my god, it was just great. That's
Brilliant.
Like, it's just great to see Session Mutt killing it in America, but there's no better, like, symbol of that than that jealous girlfriend.
That's her. That's her right there. That's her bar for killing it. You know what I mean? Everyone else was like 5-star match, and she has all them. She has the good matches and whatnot. But the Twitter moments are what you love about
Look,
her.
everyone has good matches, but can everyone say that
Go
they
viral
made,
every week.
a couple break up
Yeah.
just by twerking on someone?
Brilliant. In at number 6, let's talk about PW.
Okay, so we had the Blitz on New Year's Eve. Yes. Really fun way to spend New Year's Eve. The Blitz has kind of become known in the last years as like a match where like anything can happen, as in like surprise entrance, surprise winners, that sort of stuff. And there were surprises, like Jay Money made his PW debut. Big pop. Everyone going crazy.
Nice.
Justy, I don't know if you've seen his lovely Christmas outfit, where he looked exactly like the Grinch when he's a baby. Yeah, with the little top knot and stuff.
Shit.
Exactly like the Grinch when he's a baby. You know the scene where he's cutting himself with a razor? Yeah, that's Justy. My highlight was I was in the Blitz, right? Yeah. So I'm standing behind the curtain waiting to go out, and all of a sudden I hear hysterical laughing from the crowd. So I have a little peek, and Liam Royal has just gone out before me. What I didn't know is Liam Royal took a rugby ball out with him. I looked out and there's 10 wrestlers in the ring playing piggy in the middle with a rugby ball. There's no wrestling going on. No one's hitting each other. They're playing piggy in the middle. I start laughing and then I look at Tron, who's just standing in the corner, arms folded, looking like he's going to grab that rugby ball and shove it up everyone's hole. And I was like, that's great. Like,
I love Battle Royal bands.
Yeah,
they're the best.
Yeah. I don't know what happened that they ended up like.
Said, fuck it. That's the best.
Like, I don't know how the match got back on track. By the time I came out, it was back on track. But yeah, that was my highlight of PWU.
Shout out, by the way, to Lowesbud and PWU Loyal, Stephen McKenna. He asked us for a shout out. He's got for 365 days, he's managed to do 10,000 steps a day. So well done for him. That's a huge milestone in his life. So we just wanted to give a shout out. If you ask us to give you a shout out, you're probably going to get it if you listen every week, guys. In at number 5, one from SmackDown. Just real quick, do you notice the SmackDown has the X Division now? It's fucking class. Like, there's 205 Live is off doing the cruiserweights, but SmackDown has just decided to add the X Division. So this week we had a tag team match where it was Rey Mysterio and Mustafa Ali against Samoa Joe and Andrade Cien Almas. It's pure X Division. You know the way the X Division was always different in that you had Samoa Joe in there, you had kind of bigger guys and stuff, but like they wrestled the X Division style. It's that, and it's just like, this is when I love SmackDown, when it's at its best, when they just say fuck it and do something fun. Like, if you're going to take up 20 minutes of my time, make it something fun, make it a different match that I haven't seen, make it something, and that's what this was. It was interesting. Samoa Joe as well, love the placement of him there for the time being, because it's like, yeah, of course, Joe can mix it up. If he's not in the title picture, put him with this, kicking the guys' asses and stuff like that, and it helped. Andrade got the win in the end, and it helped get him over. So really cool addition to SmackDown, and one that I'll now look forward to every week. In at number 4, let's talk about Impact. The good.
Yeah, LAX versus Lucha Bros. I don't really need to elaborate on it. I mean, it's exactly what you think it is. Like, as soon as you see the title LAX versus Lucha Bros, what do you think it's going to be?
For people who don't know LAX, well, we know LAX, you've bigged them up. Lucha Bros.
Oh, Lucha Bros, yeah, it's Pentagon and Phoenix. Like, it's just
vicious.
It's just what you think.
Sick, hardcore.
Oh my god. What? I don't even know. I just don't even know what to say.
Is this a Homecoming?
Yes. Right. Yeah, it was Homecoming. This is the third last match.
Okay.
This was my main event. Personally, I was more excited for this than anything else, and it lived up to expectations fully.
Yeah.
And well, spoilers. I mean, I do recommend skipping this and just watching it because it was good. But spoilers, those of you who want it, LAX won as well.
Yeah.
I'm too tired to remember.
Orale.
Hasta la muerte, Edith West. I'm doing the gang.
He's
symbol.
doing the gang
for
symbol.
those of you
You're so ghetto right now.
Very, very white and embarrassing. So yeah, but it's so good.
Homecoming in general, is it worth going out your way to see? Because obviously, for those who don't know, it's TNA's return to the fairgrounds in Nashville, where they kind of made their way at the start. Is it worth going out of your way to see, or just that match?
Up as far as that match, I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great show.
Okay.
The last 2 matches pissed me off a lot. And I would put it and say something stupid, but I was like, I don't want to be too much of a downer.
Why did it piss you off, though?
Right, so first of all, I'm a big Tessa Blanchard fan. I never actually say that on the podcast or ever, but yeah, I'm a big Tessa Blanchard fan. I think she's fucking cool. Not as cool as Sienna. I still wish they brought Sienna back, but out of everyone that's there, her, Jordan Grace, and Rosemary would be like the top of the women's division, in my opinion. Nice. But of course, Jordan Grace is only new, Rosemary was injured, so she was the top. And I didn't want anyone beating her. I didn't want Taya Valkyrie beating her. I didn't think Taya Valkyrie was good enough to beat her, in my opinion. And the reason she won is because Gail Kim was special ref, not a trained official. Don't know why she was special ref. In my opinion, I'm not a fan of that. And I mean, I'm not saying it's scripted, obviously, but if it was scripted, I would say that she only won the title so they could have her and Johnny as like the champions together, because that's cool. But the reality is, Tess is better. Tess is cooler. And also in the main event, I didn't want Johnny to win either. It was Johnny Impact versus Brian Cage. Love Brian Cage. He is a fucking absolute unit.
That's him cashing in the X Division.
Yeah.
Right.
And the ending was the shits. I think, so basically the ending, right, the ending was Johnny's pals from Survivor were in the front row. And yeah, you think you know where this is going.
That's very TNA.
You know where this is going. Brian Cage, like, shoved one of them, or there was like a distraction. I can't really remember fully, but he got back in the ring and he had Johnny beat, but obviously the ref, no, I say obviously, no, it's not obvious. The ref should have been counting the pin, yeah? But instead, the fans are being rowdy at ringside, so he's like, stop being rowdy. It's like, but do you not think there's something slightly more important happening, considering it's a world title main event? Slightly more important happening than some fans being a little bit rowdy and threatening to hop over the barricade. I'm just saying. But in the end, and they fucked up the ending as well. They went to do something over the ropes. It was a bit of a fuck up, and it was very like, I don't know. I can't describe it. It was just a fuck up, right? But at the end of it all, after both those matches, two kind of screwy endings, the two big baby faces, and I thought they were turning them heel, but the two big baby faces were getting booed by the fans.
Right. And
Killer Cross came out. I love Killer Cross. Absolute fucking... I'll talk about him later on. Anyway, Killer Cross comes out, powerbombs Taya Valkyrie into all the security, and you know, he's obviously meant to be the bad guy. He comes out and he's getting like, thank you, Killer Cross, and all that sort of shit out the fans. I'm like, yeah, I hope Killer Cross wins the title. I'd be well up for that. Nice. So it was great up until the last two matches. Even, do you know what? It wasn't like even... They were entertaining. Like, it wasn't like a dog
You've
shit.
been warned that they're screwy, though, if you decide to watch them.
That's they're screwy. That's
up until LAX, it's worth it.
That was the peak of the show.
Right.
Definitely.
Okay.
LAX Lucha Bros, that lived up. Watch that.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
All right, good stuff. In at number 3, let's talk about Raw. I just want to talk about one thing. Seth Rollins recently, right? So he had that match with Dean Ambrose at TLC, which for no reason was an absolute stinker. It just never got off the ground. They weren't, like, I don't know why. They've every reason to click. They've had classic matches before. They do naturally click in the ring. It just didn't work. To the point that WWE had to do one of their things where they're like, let's address the shitness on the air, and Triple H had to give him a pep talk in the ring saying, you need to step your game up, because I think Rollins is who they want to challenge Brock for the title at WrestleMania. Rollins, however, is responding to that call, and he's been absolutely class. Rollins on his day can still be the best wrestler in the world and can do shit that, like, you see in New Japan, but you never see in WWE. Like, he can do it with the best of them. Just one spot in Raw was just like, it just had me like, wow. So he's running, it's like a tag team match. I think it's the first match in the show. He's running at another guy in the corner, he floated over to the apron. He doesn't even blink before doing a springboard moonsault off the turnbuckle. Like, his feet barely touch the floor, and he goes straight into a springboard moonsault, so you're not even ready for the move. Comes back in immediately. Does a springboard back in, springboard's over, who was it? I can't remember who he was facing. Springboard's over, hits a Falcon Arrow. It's just like so fucking crisp. You just see him in those little glimpses and you're like, oh my god, you are fucking amazing and the best wrestler in the world. He's really motivated and he's well worth watching. It's like, you remember he was wrestling in the Gauntlet match last year, and it's just like, we're getting motivated, Rollins. We're getting that every week on Raw now, and it's absolutely class. Anyway, in at number 2, let's talk about NXT UK.
So I was talking earlier about how it feels a bit like disconnected for me. There are exceptions to that, and I just keep talking about Jordan all the time. But Jordan,
he is killing it though, by all merits.
He is,
like.
because, you know, he's authentic. You know, I love this Irish Ace character where he's just the cocky lad who's come in and just been like, I know I'm really good. I know I should be getting more attention, so give me more attention, please. And he's just absolutely killing it. Whether it's the matches, whether it's the promos, he's just like a breath of fresh air.
Nice.
It's looking like it's heading towards him versus Travis Banks for TakeOver, which I think is going to be really, really good. And he's supposed to be the heel, but again, everyone is just like taken to him because he's just deadly.
Nice.
Other high points was Deonna Purrazzo versus Toni Storm.
Right.
It's just a really, really good match, and really nice to see, obviously, because Tony's had all that stuff going on.
Yeah.
I think a really good match like that will just divert people's attention back to where it should be,
and
it should always be on her in-ring work, because I think Toni is the best female wrestler in the world. If she's not, she's definitely top 3.
Nice.
So I think that's definitely going to divert attention back. So it's her versus Rhea Ripley for TakeOver, which is really exciting. And then also, one of the high points of NXT UK is the tag division. They keep throwing random wrestlers into teams, and usually I hate that. I know Cian does too, because, a team should work as a team.
Exactly. They need that chemistry.
Yeah, they need to know like what the other person's thinking. So usually I hate that. But for some reason, the random combinations they're thrown on NXT are deadly.
Right.
Like they had one, it was like Kenny Williams, Amir Jordan versus like, I can't remember. But like, it was just 4 random lads who aren't a team whatsoever.
What did you think of Tyson T-Bone and Saxon Huxley? I liked it. Fuck everyone, I liked it. I thought that was actually good.
It happened. It definitely happened.
I liked
It
the
did
video
happen.
package. I liked the video package they did. I don't know. I thought it was good.
But yeah, the tag matches are living up massively to, it's a good tag division. So.
Interesting. We're going to talk about the NXT UK card. We're going to give quick picks. We will be doing a prediction contest this week. It airs on Saturday night at 7 p.m. So make sure you set your calendar. Strange time for wrestling, but it's going to be class as well. Only 4 matches officially announced now. By the time you hear this, NXT UK will have aired, so we apologise for any spoilers that maybe they're in revealing the card. But I haven't been keeping up. So Katey, if you wouldn't mind, could you give me kind of just a basic, like, one-line background to what the story is? The NXT UK women's titles on the line. It's Rhea Ripley against Toni Storm.
So Rhea Ripley won it in the tournament. She's the first ever champion. Right. Toni Storm has just kind of worked her way through the division. Yeah. The division hasn't had a lot of storylines, but a fairly consistent one has been like Toni's the Mae Young Classic winner. Right. So she's always been top of the pecking order, and she just can't quite beat Rhea. Rhea's been pretty unstoppable since she started.
Okay. So do we think this is the one where Toni finally gets the big W? Or does it feel ready?
I think she might, just because Rhea Ripley isn't full-time in the UK. Yeah, she's an NXT wrestler. Right. So I think like it's great to you should always have a face chasing the title. It's more exciting. So I think by putting it on Toni, they've got the chase, but now they have a champion based in the UK. Yeah. So I think they might switch it to her.
And I think they do need to have, especially at this early stage, they do need to have names that they can build around. Like, so I think Toni would be the better of the two. Corporate Keaton, how do you see this one go?
Are we doing our picks for the whole card now? Yeah.
Yeah. There's only 4 matches.
Oh yeah. I think Rhea Ripley had a breakout year this year. That's not something I can think. That's an objective fact.
Happened.
But I do feel like as a result of this, she's gotten a little bit arrogant, kind of overlooking Toni Storm. Toni Storm is like on her best day, one of the best in the world. You know what I mean, in the ring. So for me, I think Toni's got this. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Now moving on to NXT UK Tag Team titles on the line. Mustache Mountain defend against, spoiler alert, Grizzled Young Vets won the tournament, so they're going to be facing each other. 2 established tag teams. The exact opposite of what you're saying. These are like as British as they come. What's kind of, is it just been a tag team tournament? Is this just a match, or has there been any build to this?
There hasn't been like a ton of build. Like Mustache Mountain have been like the focus of nearly every episode, or like every block of episodes, and I think they're going to keep the title on this one, just because they've been established. Those 2 and Pete Dunne have been like the main tier of NXT, and I just think it's too early to take it off them. And I don't think Grizzled Young Vets are the team to do it either. I know they're heels, but like they just haven't clicked at all with the crowd. I don't know why I'm saying it really like lightly, because they're not here beside me. They can't hear me. But yeah, I think Mustache Mountain are keeping it.
It's mad when you hear it, like Zach Gibson hasn't clicked fully with the crowd. Like, that's mental.
Again, I think it's that disconnect that just like
it's just not happening. Yeah, right. On that basis, I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna go Mustache Mountain.
Oh shit. I was back and forth on this one a lot. It's a roll of the dice. They're both just as good as each other. I think. I don't know. Well, I'm panicking. I'm gonna say Mustache Mountain. Fuck it.
Okay.
Fuck it. I don't know. It's a roll of dice.
No DQ. We spoke about this match earlier, so don't need much build. Dave Mastiff against Eddie Dennis, and that's great because there hasn't been much build to this. It's been pretty much just, can Eddie Dennis get the win over?
Yeah. And you know what, he probably will, because it's no DQ. He's supposed to be the big bad heel, so he'll probably do something despicable to get the win.
Right, interesting. I'm going to pick Mastiff just to be contrary.
Dave Mastiff has the power, but Eddie Dennis has the intelligence. He's like the Welsh Killer Cross, but not as killer, in my opinion. But still, he's gonna be Dave Mastiff though.
Okay, interesting. Now NXT UK Championship on the line. Pete Dunne against Joe Coffey. Seems a very random match to hang your hat on for the first ever takeover. But does it justify in the storyline?
It seemed like they were going towards Pete and Jordan.
Yeah.
And everyone got really excited. But, like, in fairness, they have been building this because they've had, like, Joe Coffey as part of this team called Gallus.
Right.
With his brother and... Oh my God, the third person escapes me. Yes, Wolfgang. So just like a big badass Scottish stable that have just been kind of running through people, cutting promos. So there is a build to this.
Right.
I think they're going to put it on Joe Coffey.
Right.
Because I don't think they should have brought any UK title when they did.
Right.
Because there wasn't a program, there wasn't a division. It's done nothing. You know what I mean? Like for me, it's been I hate saying this because like Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate have had fantastic matches for the title, but it's been a pointless title to me.
Right.
So I think put it on Joe Coffey, start fresh, build up a big baby face to chase him, and just start fresh from there.
Okay, interesting. I'm going to lean towards Pete Dunne. He's got like the longest title reign and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like that's ready. Like, I haven't heard a lot about that match, so to me it doesn't feel like it, but that could be my own ignorance from not watching every week. So I'm going to just lean towards Dunne here.
Yeah, so I've been watching every week except for like the last 2 or so. But for me, Joe Coffey, he's bigger, he's stronger, and a lot of people look at Pete Dunne and they say, yeah, he's the longest reigning champion, but only because he's rarely defended it. But I think that's bullshit. I think Pete Dunne has that title because he's as talented as he is. And I mean, he beat Jordan Devlin. If you can beat Jordan Devlin, you can beat basically anybody on that show. So for me, yeah, I think he's going to beat Joe Coffey, definitely. Okay. And I think Jordan Devlin's going to come back later on and kill him because he is literally the best part of NXT.
Fingers crossed.
Shit you not.
Fingers crossed. We can hope. Anyway, look, in at number 1, there's only one thing it can be this week. Wrestle Kingdom happened last week, so that's obviously what we're going to put in at number 1. Have you all Wrestle Kingdom yet?
I watched up as far as Naito and Jericho.
Oh, interesting. Right. So, So, thoughts, guys, in general on Wrestle Kingdom so far. Your own thoughts.
I really enjoyed it. I don't watch a lot of New Japan. I kind of only tune in for the big shows.
Yeah.
The match I was most excited about was Zack Sabre Jr. and Ishii.
Yes.
I've talked before about how big a Zack Sabre Jr. fan I am. That was actually my favourite match of the card.
Nice.
I thought it was deadly. It was just like proper old school wrestling. And, sorry, did I say Ishii?
Yeah,
sorry, yeah. I had a flashback. We have a picture of Ishii on the gym wall. I don't know if I told you that we got him to autograph at a show one day. And Becky came in with the film crew and was like, guys, why is the only picture on the wall up really high a picture of Ishii? And none of us could answer her. But what we've started doing at the end of training is praying to it. So, yeah, sorry, I just have a flashback of that. Her confusion at why Ishii was the only picture on the wall of the gym. Yeah, that was my favourite match of the card because I didn't know how his technical style was going to mesh, but I really loved that match. I thought it was great. Cody and Juice did not like it. No. Worst match of the card. Yeah, everything else is great, but like that was my high point and that was my low point.
Okay, interesting. Cian, your thoughts?
I loved it. Do you know why I loved it?
Why?
Because I fucked each and every single one of you up, except for one person, I forget who, on predictions. Absolutely whipped everyone around, right? So when I was doing predictions for that, up as far as the last 3 matches, I was, no bother, 1 second, I was like, this guy's going to win, this guy's going to win, that guy's going to win. But for the last 3, I was like, oh, what do I do? I'm back and forth, and even Naito Jericho, I was like, but Jericho, you never know, you know what I mean? So I was like, back and forth. I was like, Tanahashi, sure he's going to win, but then I was like, but that seems so unlikely. No one else is picking Tanahashi. I'm like, but I don't watch New Japan that much. So I'm like, I don't know. I'm not even taking the piss. Half an hour, I went back and forth on those predictions because I was getting distracted by other things as well. So I was like, in the end, I was like, fuck it, I'll go with my heart. Jay White, Naito, and fucking... I say my heart, I mean, I'm not... Naito Jericho is just kind of... I don't know, that was a last minute thing as well. And Tanahashi, I was like, right, let's just see where it goes. And when I was watching the matches, every single match, I was like, why the fuck did I pick Jay White? Yes! Yes! And then I was like, I knew I shouldn't have picked Naito. Yes! And then when Tanahashi won, I was like, fuck yeah!
Nice.
Yeah! And I was like, I was so excited to see those prediction boards. It was like New Year, so I was like, for the last 4 months of the predictions, at least, if not more, I was like, right, I am Watford. I am solid mid. I'm not going to the bottom, not going any further than where I am. It's like I'm 5th, 6th, and that's just where I'm going to be. And I was just I was waiting for the new year. And now that the new year has started, I'm like, I need to do those NXT UK predictions. I need to do this, I need to do that. I'm like, I want to win this. And I don't know why. But I do, and I'm really excited for it. So, yeah, that worked out for me. I'm happy.
See the wrestling world through corporate Cian's eyes. That's his review of wrestling. I did really well in predictions. Look, I'll be honest. I thought this was a good show. There was a lot of highlights. I'll get to in a second, and it deserved its place in number one. Wrestle Kingdom is always one of the best shows of the year. But for me, and I spoke to a few people who had watched it that morning on the night, because I watched it myself beforehand. And we agreed that the thing with Wrestle Kingdom is, it usually is really good, and there's loads of gifable moments in the early matches, and then it gets to the final four matches, and it just kicks into a different level where it's like match of the year, match of the year, match of the year, match of the year. The main event usually always kills it. It just never got to that stage for me. And I don't know, maybe it just because the All Elite Wrestling thing hanging over it, I was raging because I recorded the Wrestle Kingdom preview earlier than we released it, and the All Elite Wrestling thing started to come out, so my picks were fucked. As a result, because it wasn't even spoken about whether Omega and all them would be leaving. And I thought that was kind of a cloud over it. Like, even Tanahashi winning was a bit random. Though there was a lot of high points on the show, even on the kickoff show, Yuji Nagata and Minoru Suzuki just having an old man slap fest was absolutely amazing. They fought in a bloody battle in an old Wrestle Kingdom, and getting that bit of history and getting them one more time in a Wrestle Kingdom ring, it was fucking class. Ospreay and Ibushi, just going against convention. Everyone's they're going to do crazy spots, they're going to commit suicide, this and that and the other. They kicked the shit out of each other. They worked a heavyweight style match. Obviously you had the finish with Ibushi getting legitimately concussed, which was uncomfortable to watch. That shit happens in wrestling. There's not much you can do about it.
You have to get the win.
This is the Ishii Zack Sabre we talked about already. I loved the Kushida entrance. I love Wrestle Kingdom entrances. Did you see this with the...
That was real creepy.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of freaked me out a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, it was good though, but it did freak me out.
I loved it from a bad standpoint, because it was there was the kid there, and the kid kind of was waving at the crowd and just kind of stepped forward, and then the Doc character just turned around and was like, stand in the middle. So I thought it was funny from that standpoint. Then my highlight was Okada coming out as the Rainmaker. I just never thought about it. Coming out in the old pants, coming out not wearing the streety pants, blonde hair, everything. And I thought that was probably match of the night for me. It's definitely the match I was most invested in. Kicking the shit out of Jay White, absolutely battering him. You're like, there's no way Okada's losing. It's Wrestle Kingdom, it's Tokyo Dome, it's Okada. This is amazing. And then just a quick finish with Jay White winning. I was like, genius. I was upset because Okada is genuinely my favourite wrestler today. So to see that and the symbolism behind it, genuinely got me emotionally invested. So I was upset for a second where I'm like, no! Okada wins in the Dome. But then I thought about it. I'm like, yeah, look, that was really clever and it was really well done. LIJ as well. I was kicking myself because I spoke about this in the preview show we did last week. I was literally thinking this out loud. I was like, what if LIJ held all the belts? So they won the 2 tag team matches and Naito won the Intercontinental title back. I was fucking raging because I literally said that, and I was debating for about 5 minutes solid. This could be something that New Japan would do, and it happened. Then the main event lived up to it. The longest Wrestle Kingdom main event. Loved Kenny Omega coming out as a heel. It's if he is actually leaving, and we don't know, I think they're going to find a way where Kenny and the lads still work for New Japan. I don't know if they have to respect the Ring of Honor up until the Madison Square Garden show or something like that, but I don't think we've seen the last of Kenny Omega in New Japan. And he's done this whole working where he's like, I'm going to leave, this is it for me thing before, and it is all the work. But I love the main event. I thought they went out and absolutely tore the house down. Great story as well, we spoke about in the Wrestle Kingdom preview, if you heard it. It was a clash of styles. Tanahashi was trying to tell a story and tell a movie-like story. Very, very meta storyline. Again, Omega he'll take risks and stuff like that. Tanahashi took a risk. Did a frog splash off the side onto the table. Didn't pay off because that's not what Tanahashi does. He goes straight through the table. It was a fucking sick spot. There were so many sick spots in it. Loved the slapping sequence of the finish. I'm losing my voice.
I know. It's painful. It's deteriorating. I'm like, man, no.
I really liked Wrestle Kingdom. It deserved it, but it just wasn't up there with recent years. And I worry for New Japan if All Elite Wrestling is going to affect it. Anyway, look, I need a break. That's the best in the week. So
we'll write a script. You can write a script, and we'll get your man in from earlier to read it out for you.
All about periods.
You actually sound like him now. That's mad.
I'm sick. Sick Nash. Guys, we're just a few weeks away from this. It's the Low Blows equivalent of the Catalina wine mixer.
The fucking Catalina wine mixer.
the fucking Royal Rumble party. Join us in Buskers on the Ball for the craziest night of the wrestling calendar and experience not one, but 2 Royal Rumble matches in an unbelievable atmosphere. Party starts from 6 p.m. with pre-show entertainment including NXT Phoenix in full, the return of WWE Karaoke, the second annual Pool Rumble, retro gaming, and much more. No Temple Bar prices on booze and food served until late. Don't waste your one Royal Rumble a year sitting at home alone. Get tickets now on eventbrite.ie. In groups of 2 or over, get a table automatically booked, pending availability. Low Blows. For 7 years, redefining fandom. It's the fucking Royal Rumble party, guys. The highlight of the Low Blows calendar. Constantly winning the Blowy for Low Blows event of the year. Buskers on the Ball. We're going to have information next week. We're going to start doing the big announcements, but you know the drill. There's a party from 6 p.m. NXT Phoenix in full. The return of WWE Karaoke. The Pool Rumble is back. One of the most popular editions we had last year. Retro gaming and much, much more, guys. Get your tickets on eventbrite.ie now. If you book a ticket for more than 2 people or over, you will get a table automatically booked. You don't have to do anything, just book your ticket on Eventbrite now and your table will be waiting for you when you get there. That's of course while stocks last. We only have a limited amount of tables we can give away, but it's going to be great. Don't waste your Royal Rumble. It's going to be class. You only get 1 Royal Rumble a year, 2 Royal Rumble matches as well. Becky's going to stand tall. You get to be around Irish people and watch it all happen. We had Becky announced against Asuka this week. I wonder how that's going to work out, because I was sure she was winning the Rumble. And then you've got Rousey against Sasha as well, which is another sneaky decent match. So a good card as well, so check that out. Anyway, guys, we'll have the announcements next week, but now we're going to get on to the bit you've been waiting for. It's the return of the one and only, loads of people's favourite segment here on Low Blows, the main event. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Queen versus King. Queen versus Cian returns. You might remember we had a bunch of rap battles beforehand. Rap battles split one apiece. Katey won the John Cena rap battle. Corporate Cian won the original rap battle. We're going to get to it. So basically what we're doing, if it's your first time listening to Queen versus Cian, we're challenging these 2 distinguished members of the wrestling community in Ireland to a series of challenges that are wrestling related. That will test their mind, body and soul about various things that wrestlers and wrestling personalities have to do from day to day. One of the most important, and we're going to shit stir this week, one of the most important parts of being involved in wrestling these days is plugging on Twitter and whatnot. And next month, in February, there are 2 big shows that both of you guys are involved in and that I'm heavily involved in as well. So I have no kind of preference. So what we're going to do is we're going to get you guys to plug. If I can only go to 1 show in February, should I go to Fight Factory episode 7 or should I go to Low Blows Ruin Wrestling for Courage? Again, I don't have preference. I am helping run Low Blows Ruin Wrestling, but I'm also the GM for Fight Factory, so I'm heavily involved there. And I love Fight Factory. So I'm going to judge you based on the strength of your plugs. I can only go to 1 show. I'm broke still after Christmas. You have to convince me why it should be your show. Starting with Katey from Fight Factory.
Okay, so I'm going to take you back to episode 6, because a couple of months ago. I want to take you back to the main event, the Grapple Games, where we had Valkyrie hit Jordan Devlin, a Canadian destroyer, smash him with a spin kick, and then beat him clean in the middle of the ring. 1, 2, ring the bell.
Yeah.
But we had Valkyrie beat Jordan Devlin clean in the middle of the ring. Okay? Episode 7. Where does Valkyrie go after pinning the Irish Ace? Who does she take on? Who battles her for the title? Could be any one of the 5 people in the Grapple Games. It could be LJ, it could be Michael May, it could be Jay Money, it could be Sammy D, it could be any of them. But LJ and Michael didn't get on in that match. Mm-hmm. Do they go after the title or do they end up battering each other? Right. Where does Jay Money go? People argue he shouldn't have been in that match. He's the most inexperienced. He's the greenest. Does he step up and does he challenge Valkyrie? Or does someone pick on him? That's only the Grapple Game matches. That's what you need to see. Who is going to take on Valkyrie in episode 7.
Okay, interesting. Strong case. Strong, like, you're appealing to, you get me involved in the characters.
I'm trying to talk the way you talk about New Japan.
No, that's working. Oh, that gets into me. Oh, no, you sold me well there, Cian. That was a strong effort. Corporate Cian, that is a very strong effort. Now you try and sell me on why you should not go to that. Don't take any digs. We're not like that. But why you should, if you're going to one show, go to Low Blows Ruin Wrestling.
We've got Tommy McNulty.
He's dropping the mic. You turned off your mic. Right, this is an absolute disaster. After working so hard to write the rap last time, you pulled it back even. You dropped the mic, arguably before we were ready. I'm going to give that to Katey. Katey's back in the lead, 6-5. Corporate Cian choked.
I just got sacked.
You don't choke in the rap battle, but you choke here. Like,
you couldn't have thought of one thing of the show. You're writing.
This is your show.
I don't want to reveal anything just yet. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Tommy McNulty is your big selling point.
I didn't reveal it either. I'm literally just saying what could happen.
Well, I mean, anything could happen. Is that not like we've already said that? Anything could happen.
But anything could happen on any show.
So
PWU had Piggy in the middle at their blitz.
Yeah, and we are gonna have. Well, I can't. I can't say anything. This is so hard. Well, okay. We announced Lucky Kid and Matt Skyler against Club Rock Shandy, and. Well, that's it. I can't say anything.
This is
Cian, it's over. This is a KO loss.
This is the same as when I walked in and he was getting overwhelmed because he had too many tweets coming in.
I had 3. Lads, not even 2. 3 tweets. It has been a good 2 hours at least, and I haven't responded to them yet.
A KO loss for Corporate Cian. Katey leads 6-5 again. Look, you're still new to all this. You're getting used to it. Katey's a veteran at this stage.
I'm not GM. What would I be? What would you call it?
I'm going to handle a lot of the promotion for Courage.
Yeah. This is why we have you as well.
It's great Tommy's going to be there, but you do need wrestlers as well. I just want to throw that out.
I would have thought that'd be kind of obvious. I'd feel the need to mention
that. I don't know. I feel like I should take you aside after the show and give you a list of things you need for a show.
Yeah, don't just let fans assume we've got Tommy McNulty. Well, they'll definitely have wrestlers.
Like you need someone to ring the bell.
Point.
How are you going to ring your bell? Is it going to be an electronic bell? Is it going to be a dingy bell?
I'll look after this.
Get a dingy bell. I love dingy bells.
We have a legit dingy bell.
Guys, Katey leads 6-5. We'll be back next week with more Queen versus Cian. But until then, Katey, where can people see it? Well, you're going to be at Fight Factory this weekend.
Yes, come to the gym show. It's absolutely free. Donations accepted.
In Eastwall.
In Eastwall, in our training gym. I'm going to go ahead and just tell you the main event now.
Nice.
The main event is going to be Club Rock Shandy versus Justin Daniels and Big Rab.
Ooh,
so
interesting.
The two lads who stepped up against More Than Hype on the last show are going to step up against Club Rock Shandy.
Interesting.
Also, just gone out on Twitter, Big Liam Royal has offered an open challenge to any next-gen superstar who wants to step up.
Love it. I'm excited. I can't wait. I'm definitely going to be there scouting for Kurt. But that's what we do now. Get the scout. Get your notepad, Corporate Cian.
Big Rab and Justin Daniels, of course, of the Corporate Cian Wall fame.
Anything coming up on YouTube?
Oh, man. Right. So, for those of you who missed it, I put a video out last week where I went onto Twitch and I asked random Twitch streamers who they thought was going to win the Royal Rumble. They hated wrestling. They really hated it. They hate wrestling. They hate me. And I loved it. I actually had so much fun making that video. Did really well. Hit 1,000 subs. And now I'm motivated. So, this Sunday, you see, look, I have a lot on my mind. That's one of the reasons I failed the last challenge just there. Because there's one show that features, that's it's going to be amazing. That's Courage, of course, yeah? But there's another show. And the show's Monday Night Raw. But it's going to be out on Sunday. I wrote the episode. I wrote the episode because we're obviously the authority. That's what happened. You know, we're now in charge.
Yeah.
So
like that.
we being all of us, not just us,
right.
But like everyone. So I took one for the team this week. I put the duties on myself to write it. My favourite wrestler is Eric Rowan, as you know. So it's going to be interesting. There's some matches in there. Donald Trump versus Michael D. Higgins. Is that one that interests either of you?
It's something, yeah.
It is a thing. Theresa May, Brexit means Brexit, open challenge.
Right, no spoilers.
I'm not spoiling the results. I'm just announcing the card. You know what I mean? Sienna versus Ronda Rousey for the women's title. So it's gonna be interesting. That's Sunday. Tuesday, I will be reading some of the finest WWE literature I can find on the internet. But they're all fanfics, so that's good.
I love fan fiction.
I don't think you're gonna love this fan fiction.
I used to read it. I was deep in the fan fiction world a few years ago.
I really don't think you're gonna love this.
I can't wait. There you go. Subscribe to Corporate Keen on YouTube to get all that, guys. It's well worth it. Also free as well, so check that out. Guys, we'll be back next week looking at NXT UK Takeover, more Queen versus Keen, and I'm sure we're going to have some news about Low Blow During Wrestling, a Fight Factory as well, the gym show, and see how that goes. But until next week, for Katey Harvey, for Corporate Keen, I've been Rick Nash, and that's the bottom line. Because Low Blow said
We have
so.
Ben Given as well. We have Ben.
No, that's not. It's over. It's over.